people, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in, and good Monday morning to you. I hope you're all feeling as energetic as I am. I know you lot can't see it, but I promise you I'm smiling. Arsenal won, fair enough, we did it the hard way. 3-2 for victory in a 5-goal thriller against Everton. And yeah, man, it is what it is. 3 points to go with what happened against Newcastle, and also in terms of keeping the run going against Olympiacos. If I had to cherry pick, looking at that 3 games, obviously fatigue is going to play a part. Games have been coming thick and fast. Football is, no game is the same as the other, but we potentially haven't started games. As much as all the positives, when we nitpick, we probably haven't started all 3 games recently in the fashion we would have liked to play. But either way, it's there. We got 3 points. You know what? We're 4 points or so off the top. I don't even know, people. Let me check that to be factually true. Off the top 4, I'm saying. I would love it to be the top of the table, people. But yeah, Arsenal a long way from doing all them sort of thing there. But Premier League. Sorry for this, people. I just don't want to look like an idiot for you lot. More so than I probably do already, talking into a camera as a weirdo on the part. But yeah, obviously we're not in the top 5 or 4 yet, but we're 9th. We're on 37 points. In the 2 golden spots, there's Chelsea in 44, United in 41, and 3 points off Spurs in 6th place. I believe that's why I said that, is because I was with my friend who's a Spurs fan last night, and I was bantering him about St. Totteridge Day hopefully returning. But it is what it is. I don't believe we can get top 4. I just think it's too much of a big task. But saying that, my opinion don't matter. It's down to what Arteta believes. He said he wants it. Mathematically, it can be achieved if they want it. The players should buy into that. And obviously, regardless of that, we owe it to ourselves to end the season in the best way we potentially can, people. So just in terms of what we're seeing, I like it. Obviously, we've improved defensively in more or less every aspect. We're not perfect, but we let ourselves down for the 2 goals we conceded by Everton. But I'm very positive with Arteta generally, because you're seeing 2 banks of 4. You're seeing man press the ball. You're seeing more tactical fouls. You're seeing just simply structure. And obviously Saliba's not here this year, but could you imagine Saliba coming in prior to Arteta, when there wasn't necessarily any fluidity in our side or anything like that? It'd be complete carnage, people, really and truly. With you, it just wouldn't happen for him. So I'm positive to see what he can potentially come and work forward with next season. But during this season, it's nice to see the early bullocks. Obviously, congratulations to Eddie Nketiah. He came off, he got his 2nd start and he scored. Away from his goal, I think we saw a better general play game from him. Obviously, Saka looked a bit tired in the 2nd half, but again, the games have been coming thick and fast, especially for these young sort of players, and he's a terrific player. Bellerin, I know Maitland, I don't know what's going on with Maitland-Niles, because 1 minute, and I'm not criticising Arteta or Maitland, but 1 minute he's talking up his versatility, he's not in the side. He looked at right back, he looked like he was improving, he looked like he could accept that was his role moving forward. And Bellerin's had a couple of good games since he's come back, but at the moment he looks a bit off the pace. Just in terms of there's pressure for spaces, in the same way that Ceballos is playing well. So we're saying, does Torreira get in the side? You know, Guendouzi and all of these sort of things. We're looking at who is performing, and you're looking at it potentially. Maitland-Niles, he might not be perfect at fullback, but surely he could give a Bellerin a run for his money right now. In the same way, Mustafi is keeping a lot of people out of the side. So Holding and them man there, regardless of their injuries, they're not in the side. I know Pepe's not playing amazing PFA Player of the Year sort of movie sort of stuff, but for me, I think people need to calm it down with Pepe. Obviously, you can have question marks, and I'm not talking about the constructive criticisms, but for me, you can see he's a good player, man. You can see Pepe, he can get 10 goals, 10 assists in the Premier League or all competitions. He can move forward to being that player in the future for Arsenal. And for me, in the last couple of games, the draw against Chelsea was alright, but he's looked more of his own, man. Definitely the last 2 Premier League games, I'm loving them assists for both for Aubameyang, ironically now. He's looking a bit more confident, and I believe it's funny how football works, man. Like, you can just cast a man off after 6 months, like he was. I think he really is starting to look like a player. He looked like, I mean, the building blocks have always been there. As I've been saying in my vids and you've seen, he's a very skillful player and all these things, but he really looks like he wants to make the difference now, and he's feeling comfortable, not just with Arteta and the manager, but at the club, because You know, he's a big money signing. It's adjusting to the league. In hindsight, he had African Cup of Nations coming off the back of a big season with Lille. There's a bit of fatigue. He never had a pre-season. And obviously getting to know your teammates. I don't think he's all the way perfect yet, people. Obviously, at times for me, I actually think he's got to shoot more as well, people. I think he's got it in him cutting off that right-hand side to have more shots. I don't think he shoots enough, but like, obviously mixing up your play and that, there's still a bit of teething problems and places he can do better. But for me, I'm happy with him, people. Obviously in the Premier League you want to see it improve, but he's contributed to 10 goals in 23 games, people. Obviously I'm being a bit generous. When we break it down, it's 6 assists and 4 goals. In all competitions he's got 8 assists and 6 goals. But he's also scored some big goals. Europa League, the highlight with them 2 free kicks. Scored a big goal against United. Obviously he scored against Newcastle, but he's also chipped in with 2 important assists. And he obviously didn't get a goal or an assist against Liverpool away, but he played well in that game. So I think people need to allow it a bit with Pepe, and it's nice to see him coming into his own. It's nice to see obviously Mustafi and Xhaka play well. It's nice to see David Luiz, Leno, all these players that might have had a hand in the first or second goal actually react for me, people. They reacted to their mistakes. It's nice to see, because previously you've seen us go a goal down in games. We start getting scared. It's nervy, you know how it used to be. We bring on the subs in the 60th minute. We might put the team under pressure. It's nice to see we've got the handbrake in that. You know, when we conceded that goal, it weren't perfect, but it was like, alright, cool, wake up, boys. And it weren't perfect, but what I like is we're not crumbling. We're not crumbling at Chelsea away. We have obviously had terrible results, but we're not crumbling and cowering people. So that's lovely to see. Away from that though, and I actually what I was actually here to make the video before I go into work about people. Apparently, you know, obviously you lot know already, Guendouzi was allegedly, we heard attitude issues, he had beef with Arteta or whatever, and it is what it is. Emerging reports, and just speculating on what the reports are, like I said then, because we don't know what is true, what is not, we can merely comment. But according to Ornstein, Matteo Guendouzi was axed for the Newcastle game due to a fracas with a teammate during the club's winter break in Dubai, where he was deemed the aggressor. Now, we don't know the context. It could have been banter, it could have been legit fighting, footballers and fighting, sportsmen are fighting. Is it really a story? It's not. But if he's deemed to have been the aggressor, then obviously we've got club policies to follow, we've got examples to set. He is a young man as well, so he's got to learn, and you can see how the headlines were written. Away from that though, Guendouzi was also reportedly given a telling off by technical director Edu in Dubai for a separate incident off the training pitch. Allegedly, Guendouzi removed his shirt at an external event and waved it around in support of a local music performance. So obviously you don't mind that, man. He's a young man. No disrespect to him, but he's a bit like, he reminds me of myself in school. He reminds you like he's got a bit of ADHD about him, a bit excited and needs to calm it down. He's obviously, you know, just needs to calm it down. Obviously, he probably enjoyed the music concert or whatever they were doing, but Eddie probably said to him, yo, listen, Guendouzi, you're Arsenal first team. I know you want to have fun, but just rein it in a bit. We've got an example to set. Obviously, he's got to learn them sort of things, and he's still a young man. Could you imagine being 20, 21 years of age, going from playing for Lorient to playing for Arsenal, to get a French call-up, Adidas events and all of these sort of things? He's got a lot to learn. Allegedly, away from that though, Guendouzi is perceived, despite his perceived misdemeanors, Guendouzi is said to have impressed Arsenal with his response, and there's still belief within the club that he can develop into a top player. And I believe if he listens to Arteta, he can do that. And I'm scared, people, moving away from that now. If we look at Bukayo Saka, I'm not scared for him. Terrific individual, terrific young player with terrific potential. You've been watching him. Probably need to take him out the side for the Europa League game. I know there's a few days ahead of that game, but he needs to be rested. But he is the first teenager to reach double assists for a season for Arsenal in a singular season since Cesc Fabregas in 2006-07. I believe he's got 10 assists in all competitions now, and he's a terrific player, and we hope to God he signs a new contract. Now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, now, it's ridiculous, people. I mean, he could, considering the season we've had, he could reach 30 goals or more this season if he does his thing. I mean, how much goals did he have at this point in February? I'm sure Troops tweeted it, but at this moment in time, Aubameyang has scored 49 goals in 74 Premier League appearances. Do you know how crazy that is, people? In fact, he scored with his last 3 shots in the Premier League. In fact, courtesy of Troops, shout out to Troops. Allegedly, Troops' tweet says, Aubameyang scored 22 goals in the league last season. February the 23rd, and he's on 17. So yeah, man, when you put that into context, what Troop said, then what a lot of you are tweeting is crazy, considering he's playing out wide. We've had a bit of an up and down season, Arsenal fans would admit. So yeah, man, that's crazy. I hope they both sign new deals, and it's crazy to see, man. It's lovely to see Hayland in Aubameyang and Eddie Nketiah scoring. I mean, Saka and Eddie Nketiah assisting and scoring yesterday. It's lovely to see Aubameyang being a top player. Thierry Henry like finishes. Thierry Henry like runs people, and I mean, you've got to give him a new deal. He scores goals from out wide. He scores goals from the middle. What I think is understated, and I don't want to play the age card, the man's never injured, and I don't touch all wood. We don't want that to happen, but he's never injured. He never really, obviously he needs a rest at times, but you never really hear, yo, Pigeon Gang moving mud. But you never really hear Aubameyang needs a rest. He's got a little niggle, and if he does, which he probably does, like most honest football fans, there's nothing wrong with football players, sorry. It's testament to him that he puts his pain, he puts himself through the pain barrier. And Aubameyang himself said it was a tough week, and it was hard today to find some energy at the end of the week, but we did it. And I think everyone is doing well and giving more than 100% to win the game. Away from that, people, Arteta himself on Aubameyang's future said the club want him. The club want him. He completely deserves to be liked by other teams. Hopefully we can convince him that this is the right place for him, and he has a future here. He wants to be up here with the world's best. He wants to be up there with the best players in the world, and we have to try and support him and give him everything as a club so that he feels fulfilled here. That's the challenge we had. And he also spoke about, I'm not going to read out the comments, but Arteta also spoke about, to be fair, I mean, regardless of Emre under Aubameyang did kind of play out wide. Apologies for spitting. Play out wide and do the defensive work under Emre, but Arteta himself said he knew Aubameyang had the capabilities to do it, but would he want to do it? Obviously, a bit of that you can speculate: his age, his status in the team, the direction of the club. Why would he want to spend his best years playing out wide? At least for this moment in time, he could have sulked. He could have tried to sort his situation out in January. Whether he wants to stay or leave, he's a terrific professional because he gets his head down. He's a terrific character in the changing rooms. He strikes me as someone that isn't the traditional captain. He'll say something that needs to be said and he's a vocal one, but he's not going to bollock everybody. He's a very light person with the dressing room. He needs, by example, I mean, I could sit here and sing Aubameyang's praises. I get a lot of critics saying, DG, you've got to call Aubameyang world class. Listen, in today's day and age, he clearly is a world class striker. I've never minded that. And I agree with that. My thing is, world class should be reserved for R9, Lionel Messi and Ronaldo, but we're not going to get into that. For all you guys in the comments, I see it. Listen, DG said it. In the same way I come out and, you know, paid my respects and repented for my sins about Leno. Not that I've never praised Aubameyang, but I've given you the world class comments. So you trolls, allow me. But on a serious note, I hope, obviously, Aubameyang stays, people. It's lovely to see we got 3 points. Lovely to see Pepe coming into it. Saka just keeps defying our expectations. There's good competition for places, and I'll probably expand on this in another vid, but the last note I will say, people, if I'm pushing it, I know Pepe's still here at the club right now. He's just joined, and Bellerin's been working back from injury, but we do look a bit left-hand centric when we're attacking. I want to see that same intent on the right-hand side, but I might speak about that in the next video. Apologies if the video's gone blurry. Apologies for any noise I can't control. Yeah, people, DG, I'm out.